and then we are going to start with the new thing. So as we have learned the axioms of probability, so the axioms we have learned is what is the representation of probability. It is PE. If we take for event E, and it's slide from 0 to 1. And if we talk about the impossible event, the probability of happening of impossible event is 0, and the probability of happening which is certain, the type of event, the probability is 1. And we have also learned that the probability, or you can say the sum of probability of all the events falling under a sample space is equal to 1. That we have written that the summation of that the summation from PE1 to PEN is equal to 1. So this is the thing we have learned for. If we talk about other things, we have learned about the different type of probabilities, the complementary of events. We have learned some of the problems, how to discuss them, and then we have learned one of the problem which is important from the point of view of examination and for the knowledge also, that we have discussed, and we have worked some of the other problems also. Today we have to start with the probability 2, that is the second part of the probability. It means we have covered with the basics, and today we are going to start with the more elaborated things, means we are going to learn about the different things which are related to the probability. So if we
Hello, ma'am.
start with it, Anji beta,
Some students are facing trouble in joining the meeting.
beta I know, but I can't sit just because for 20 minutes are already passed. So what I can do, I will give the recording to this on your when I have started with this session, so they will also cover the whole thing, correct?
Okay, ma'am.
No, it will be fine, otherwise we will be late with the class.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
let us start. Today we are going to learn the theorems. We are going to learn the conditional probability. In this exploration, we will learn about the multiplication theorem, what is the independent event, and we will learn about the exercises based upon the addition, multiplication theorem, and conditional probability. So if we start with it, if we have A and B are the events in a sample space A, then what is the probability of occurrence of at least one of them, A or B? Means I can say either A is happening or B is happening, or both can happen. Correct? So in that case, you can say A union B, or we can say this is the probability addition theorem, that the probability of happening of A or B is given by probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So here this is the theorem that you have to learn, that how we can go for the addition of you can say addition theorem, that tell us about the probability of happening of either A or B or both. That's why we are saying at least one of them will happen, at least one of them event will happen. And as we know that two events are known to be mutually exclusive if A intersection B is 5, that we have already learned. You know? So here what we can say, in that case what will happen, this A intersection B is 5, so the probability of A intersection B is obviously 0 because it's not going to happen. So the addition theorem will be only P of A union B is equal to PA plus PB. This is what we have as an addition theorem. Now, if the same theorem will be extended for the three events A, B, and C, what we can do, here we are going to take the three events of a sample space, then we can say probability of A union B union C. Means either A will happen, or B will happen, or C will happen, or might be they will happen in a combination. So how we are going to calculate the probability? We can say the probability is given by PA plus PB plus PC, the probability of each one of them being added, and then we are going to take the intersection when they are having something common. And finally we are adding this A intersection B intersection C, because when we subtract the common part, then it is actually extracted in more, means when we have extracted using this subtraction. So we have to add the intersection of A, B, and C one time in this, and we will get the formula of probability of A union B union C. This is the addition theorem for three events that are happening together. So again, if A, B, C are mutually exclusive, as we have learned about the mutually exclusive events. Mutually exclusive events are those events when their intersection is giving me 5. They cannot happen together. Correct? So in that case, since A, B cannot happen together, B, C cannot happen together, and similarly so on. So in this case, we have probability of A union B union C is equal to the sum of probabilities of A plus probability of B plus probability of C. So this is how what we are getting the addition theorem for 3 events. So you have to remember when they are mutually exclusive, and how you will come to know just by thinking about it, that which type of events are happening. Is it possible for them to happen together? Suppose we are looking for the even and odd number. So as we know, then if even number is coming, odd number cannot come. Correct? So they are mutually exclusive. So in that case, and in the similar conditions, you have to take only a theorem. First part means when we have only the sum of the probabilities of the events. Correct? And this will be very easy to learn with the help of examples. So these two things, the probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB plus PC, this one, that you have to remember. And when they are not mutually exclusive, you have to add this last term. Similarly, when we are talking about the 3 events, then normally we have to go for this one when the 3 events cannot happen together. Otherwise, you have to add all these extra terms. Correct? So these are the addition theorem for probabilities. Okay, this we have already discussed yesterday, that if A is an event and A dash is its complement, or we have represented by A, C, or we can represent it by A bar. So what is the probability of not happening of A? That we have learned, that we can write down, that if an event is happen and it is not happening, finally the sum of 2 is equal to 1. So what is the probability of not happening of A? It is given by 1 minus PA, or probability of happening of A is given by 1 minus PA dash. So it is coming from this expression, and it is very easy to be done. And normally it is asked for the MCQs, that if the probability of happening of something is this, what is the chance that it will not happen? For example, let us take, if the probability of you as an individual student passing an exam is 0.8, that I can assume that there is 80% chance that if you are attending the lectures, you are going through the PPTs, then obviously there is 80% chance that you can pass this exam. But obviously it is not certain, so there is some uncertainty, and that is 20%, that I'm not sure about 20%. So what we can say, what is the probability that you will not pass in the exam? So obviously there is some probability, and give which is 0.2, that I can calculate 1 minus 0.8. Similarly, if it is given that probability of not happening of an event is this one, then what is the chance that it will happen? So again you have to subtract from 1, and you have to write on your answer. Correct? Let us take some examples based upon the theorems. Here we are saying the first example is, and here you have to be very careful, because the statement will say everything about what formula you have to implement. Correct? So here it is given two mutually exclusive events. So when we are talking about mutually exclusive event, it means what we are saying that A intersection B is phi. There is nothing common in A and B. Or I can say probability of A intersection B is equal to 0. Correct? The probability of that both of them will happen together is 0. Also it is given probability of A is this one, probability of B is this one. Correct? So how to find out probability of A or B? Now it is not a different thing. We have just learned about probability of A union B. Right? So it is the same thing, because examiner used to write down different things in order to just confuse the student to know about that how much aware they are about the different symbols. So again we can write down the formula. Probability of A union B, as you know, it is equal to PA plus PB minus of PA intersection B. So it is 0. So what we have to do? It is just equal to PA plus PB. So just you have to add the values of PA and PB, which are already given to you, and you will get an answer of probability of happening of A or B. I think it's very simple example to deal with the addition theorem. Okay, so first thing is given. Let me remove the ink in order to make you more visualize. If A and B are two mutually exclusive event, then according to addition theorem we have written, Probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB. And be sure whenever you are mentioning something which is a theorem, a law, or something that you are already aware of, that it is a knowledge or something which is already known to all of us, you have to mention it. You can't do it directly, otherwise it's a simple problem and anyone can think you have just copied from somebody else. Correct? So be sure to write down the rule, whatever the formula you are using, and in bracket what that formula is. So here I have written, since probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB according to the addition theorem, so just by substituting the values we are getting the values 5 by 6. Hope so you have understood. Correct. Let's go to the next example. It is an example of dice. Here we are saying a dice is rolled. Find the probability that 1 or 6 may appear on a dice in a throw. So we are saying either 1 will appear or 6 may appear, because here there is no chance that both of them can happen together. Correct? Because in the definition of A union B, what we are saying? We are saying the formula is the formula to calculate the probability of happening of at least one of them. So at least one of them means either one will occur, or the second will occur, or both can happen together. But when they are mutually exclusive, they can't happen together. So that's why we are having the two formulas. One is for the normal condition when they can happen together, and the second one when they cannot happen together. It means they are mutually exclusive. So here, what you can say, can they happen together? I know the answer is no, because it is a fair dice. Whenever we are throwing, we are getting only one number at the top. So what the formula is? Again, we have the same theorem, probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB, and I think all of us are aware of how we have calculated PA, probability of getting one number, and how many possibilities are there? Total 6 possibilities. So we are getting the probability of A as 1 by 6, probability of B is 1 by 6, so we are getting the answer is 2 by 6. Correct? So this is what we have done. Okay, before going to these, is there any problem? Then you can write in on your chat box. I'm just taking a pause for 1 second. If there any problem regarding the two examples, because they are very simple, if they are clear, it means we can go for the unsolved example. In the first one, it was already written that things are mutually exclusive, while in the second one, it was not given. Correct? It is not given that they are mutually exclusive. We have used our own logic, and we are saying since they are mutually exclusive, so just by adding the values, and the values obviously are not given, we have calculated the probability of A is 1 by 6, probability of B is 1 by 6. That's why we are getting the sum as 2 by 6. So is there any problem? Then let me know. Otherwise, we will start with some unsolved problems. And be sure to have your pen and paper. Again, you have to do it and we have to discuss it. Okay, I'm getting some. No, ma'am. Okay. No, ma'am means you are not getting, or there is no problem. One student have written, I think Praful have written, no ma'am. Is there any problem? This is the answer. I'm assuming it. This is the answer of there is no problem. Correct? Are you getting it? Correct. It's no problem. Chaliye, let us start with the next one. Here we have, what is the probability of getting number 3 or a number which is a multiple of 3 in tossing a dice? Correct? Let me again read it out. What is the probability of getting a number 3? So we have to write down. Let me take here. If A is an event, this is how we have to write down. If A is an event of getting a 3, right? So how we will write down? Let us take, and here I am not solving it as a whole because it is not possible to write down as we write on the board. So I am just writing out that probability of getting an A means I have an event A in which we have only the number as 3. Okay, one of you have done and giving me the answer. So A is 3, and if we talk about the probability of A, it is obviously 1 by 6. Correct? Similarly, if we are talking about a number which is multiple of 3. So if B is an event of getting a number which is a multiple of 3, so I can write down B is equal to 3 comma 6. Multiple of 3 are only 3 and 6. So we are getting the probability of B, because here now we have two numbers. So probability of B is 2 by 6. Correct? probability of B is 2 by 6. And if I write down what is the final probability, okay, one more thing we have to see, that either they are mutually exclusive or not. So if I write down probability of A intersection B will be there. Yes, there is something common, number 3. Number 3 is common in both. So if I write down probability of A intersection B, so probability of A intersection B will be 1 by 6 because it is common to all. So how we can write down? Now we have again to write down the values, the formula. According to the formula, probability of A intersection B is equal to PA. So I'm not able to write down here. Let me write down directly. So what is the final probability? It is PA plus PB. PB we are getting as 2 by 6 probability of event B and minus probability of A intersection B. This is the formula. So what we can do, we can write on here, and if I simplify it, what we are getting the probability of getting either one thing, either number 3 or a number which is multiple of 3. So we have probability of A union B given by this thing, and if I cancel it out, these two will cancel out. So we are getting the answer 2 by 6. So either 2 by 6 we can write down, or the answer is 1 by 3. Correct? So this is the first part of this screen question. I think most of you have given me the correct answer, 1 by 3. It's correct. No? चलिए. Second, we will discuss, because already you have started, some of you have started with the answers, and let's see whether it is correct or not. So I will not write down as a whole, but let us start and discuss how to do it. Here we are saying find the probability of getting an even number. So how many even numbers are there? 3 out of total 6. Again, because we are talking about the dice. So what is the probability? 3 by 6, or I can say probability of getting an even number is 1 by 2. Second thing, we are saying a number less than 2. Number less than 2 means how many values will be there? Less than 2, we have only one number. So here we have probability of A plus probability of B for getting only one number. It's 1 by 6. And are they mutually exclusive? Obviously they are mutually exclusive, because here we have a set 2, 4, 6. Here if we talk about even numbers, then even number has a set of 2, 4 and 6. And if we have written number less than 6, so we are getting only a single value 1. And if I solve it, what we will get? We will get LCM as 6. 2 3s are 6, 3 plus 1 4, and the answer is 4 by 6, or it is 2 by 3. Right? So this is how we have solved the second one. Correct? Now let's start with the last one that you have to do, and let me know the answer, and let's see how many of you can do it, because we have done 2 examples and we need more and more answers. One student have given me the question number 3 answer. It's Lokesh, and let's see if others can give me. Let's see. What is the probability of getting an even number or a number greater than 4 in toss of a dice? Again, we are talking about a dice. Again, here we are talking about even number. So even number key already we have calculated, it's coming as 1 by 2. Here again we have to think about number greater than 4. So write it down, let me know what is the final answer. I'm getting just one student answer, so all other have to attempt it, and let me know what they are getting. Yeah, one more student have given the answer. I'm waiting for others also, because as a total I think 13 to 14 students are there with me. Correct? Some of you are giving me the answers. Even number already we have calculated, and for greater than 4 we have two numbers. Some of you are giving me some different answers, some of you are giving me some common answer. I'm not sure what the correct answer is. I have not solved it. So I'm waiting for your response and then we are going to discuss it. Deepta, check your answer. You are getting a different answer from what others are giving it to me. Getting an even number. Even number we know we have 3 even numbers out of 6, so the probability is 1 by 2 and we are getting 246 as a even number. Next we are saying that we have number greater than 4. Number greater than 4 it means we have 5 and 6. So there the probability is 2 by 6. The first word is 3 by 6. Probability of second is 2 by 6. And if I take the common one, what is the common answer? The common is 6. It means one number is common. So we are getting 1 by 6. So solve it. And I think the answer we are getting is 2 by 3. Correct. So some of you have answered me correctly. I think 4 to 5 students are giving me the correct answer. One student have giving a different answer. So you have to do by yourself. In case still you are not getting it, you have to let me know. But the answer of this problem is, let me write down. I'm not doing the steps. You have to write down by yourself, and the final answer with it I can write down. For first probability is 3 by 6. Then we are getting 2 by 6, and then we are getting minus of 1 by 6, and finally if I solve it I will get 4 by 6, and 4 by 6 means we are getting the final one as 2 by 3. Correct. So this is what we are getting the values. Okay. Let us start with the next one. Till now we have learned about the addition theorem. Addition theorem is used when either one event is happening or other is happening, or both can happen. It means we are looking for. Okay, one student is asking, can we present in decimal? Obviously, you can present in decimal, but normally in the case of probability, the easiest part is because every time the denominator is same, and more of the time students are not going to do the fractional part because it is obviously it's not easy to read on and we have to round off also. So according to me, whenever the dice, the cards, and what else we have learned? Coins are concerned, we should write down whatever you are getting as P by Q form, write it down as such. There is no need to get the fraction part. Okay, one student is asking why you are saying, ma'am, I did not get why substitute 1 by 6. What is sub? Deepta, can you just explore it? What you are asking? Why 1 by 6 if you are asking about the third part? That I got the last question. Yeah, this one you are saying the third part now means if I have taken probability of A. Probability of A means if I write down if A is an event of getting even number. So here we have probability of A means here we have even number as 2, 4 and 6. Correct. And if I write down probability of B. Probability of B, if we talk about, here we have number greater than 4. Greater than 4 means here we have only 5 and 6. So greater than 4 numbers we have 5 and 6. Now find out how many are common. So here we have one element in common that I am getting. He is asking why to subtract 1 by 6. So here if we talk about, this is probability of A, this is probability of B, and probability of A intersection B. Why we are subtracting? Because these are not mutually exclusive. We have not to subtract anything when they are mutually exclusive. And as we have learned, mutually exclusive means they have something common. We are talking about A intersection B. A intersection B means if we are getting something common, so obviously they are not mutually exclusive because we are getting the value which is common is 1. So here if I write down A intersection B, if you just want to say what is common in A and B, a number which is even and which is greater than 4. So obviously it has a number 6. This is number na, which is even and which is greater than 6. Correct? So here we have probability of A intersection B is 1 by 6 because there is one element, and now we are substituting in the formula that probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB, probability of A plus probability of B and minus probability of A intersection B. So this is the formula na, that we have learned. So the third part is saying when something is common in both, we have to subtract the probability of their intersection. Correct? So this is what we have. So let us start with the multiplication theorem. Today we have just covered the addition theorem. Correct? And but those who are not getting the access to this lecture, they have not to worry because this situation can happen anytime with any one of us. So in case you are not being entered due to some technical problem or the issues, you have not to worry. I will record it, and as soon as possible I will share it with you, because after the lecture will finish I will stop recording. Google will send me the whole video so that I will share it with you. You can go through it. Okay. So let us start with the next one, which is multiplication theorem. The multiplication theorem is saying if A and B are two independent events. We have talked about the independent events also, no? So here we are saying if A and B are independent event, then the probability of happening of both event A and B. What is the probability that A will happen as well as B will happen? That is represented by A intersection B. So what is the probability? It is given by PA into PB. And when you have to take care that it is possible only when probability of A intersection B is equal when they are independent, then the probability of A intersection B is given by PA into PB. So this is how we can write it down, the multiplication theorem for two events which are independent. Let us take some example to make it clear. Here we are saying if 5 coins are tossed, what is the probability of getting all heads? Correct? Here what we are saying, we are taking 5 coins and we are looking for the probability of getting all heads. So it is looking like very hard question, but actually it is not. If we think about what is the probability of getting a head in a single coin, the probability is 1 by 2. Correct? So the probability of getting one head on tossing one coin is known to us, which is very easy to calculate because there are the output as head or tail. So if we are tossing a coin, the probability of getting head is 1 by 2. Here what we are saying 5 coins are tossed. It means we are not tossing only one coin, we are tossing coins. So in the case we are having, it's not 1 by 10. One student is giving me the answer. It's not 1 by 10. Now what we have to do, we have to take probability in the five coins is 1 by 2 for first coin, because second coin is independent of the first one. For the second one, it's again 1 by 2. Afridi, please switch off your mic, please. Again, we have to do 1 by 2. And similarly for all 5 coins, if I proceed, so I will get is equal to finally 1 by 2 raised to power 4. It is not 1 by 10. It is giving me an answer 2 to the 4 to the 8 to the 60 to the 32. So we are getting an answer. Freddie, switch off your mic, please. So we are getting an answer which is 1 by 32. So this is how we can use the multiplication theorem. Correct. So this is how we are writing.
ये रख
Um,
ले बैठी
let us start with the next one. The next example is from a pack of cards, two cards are drawn. We are talking about now a pack of cards, and we have drawn two cards.
ओके
What is the probability of
इसको रख लो
getting both queens
ए
when
निकाल उसको से पैर रख पर नहीं वो हाथ पेडल है ना जी पेडल को रखी रे रखी तुझे हाँ लग गया
whether it's very I think mm, they are traveling. Okay, he is traveling. It's not in the class, and still the
हेलो
mic is
वो अच्छा का ऐसा का जान दो कर ऐसा बैठो हैं कर ऐसा का बैठो तो हमारा नहीं कहते जान कर तो आ सकते आराम से जाता हूँ अब इसके घर से आता है एक बार
so let us continue and
मैं
because
सोच
still
करेगा
the
यहाँ पे
10 minutes are there.
हम कर
Let us discuss what
दिए
we have to do and we will continue this in the next class. And be sure whenever you are coming, because it can happen with any one of us that our mic is open and we are not here, we are not listening. Correct? So this is, I think, what Riddhi is doing. So here we are saying that from a pack of
सुनते हैं
cards,
जगह मैं स्लो कर दूँ गॉट इट
हाँ, ये छोटे रोड को 50 से 60 जरूरी यहाँ 40 दिखता रोड लिखी मेन रोड चढ़े बाद 50 जाते बस
40 चले अब तक
और 40 पार हुआ 50 में गए
I'm not sure.
कनाडा जा का तो हो गया
अक्कल नहीं जाता सुनो टीचर हो हाँ हाँ वो गाड़ी पे जाते हो
Chalo, done. Chale. Let us start with the second question. In the second question, we are saying that from a pack of cards, two cards are drawn, and we are looking for the probability of getting both queens. Now, some of you have started giving me the answer. We have when the first card is replaced, and the second we are saying it is not replaced. So here we are looking for something more in the probability that here we have first thing we are not taking one card. Correct? Because till now when we are talking about the simple probability, we have taken only one card, one dice, one coin, and now when we have learned about the addition and multiplication theorem, we can do more than one thing. So here we are saying that from a pack of cards, two cards are drawn. We have drawn two cards, correct? So this is one thing we have to take care of. We are looking for what is the probability of getting both queens, correct? So as again it is to be discussed that both are independent because there are four queens. When we are taking one queen, it is independent of taking out the second queen. Correct? So here we are saying under two scenario we have to calculate first thing when the card is replaced and the second when it is not replaced. Correct? So when first thing you have to be very clear that here we are going to use the multiplication theorem. It is not the addition theorem because we are looking for the two things to be drawn, correct? And we are looking for the probability of getting both the queens. So when they are replaced means I have a pack of card, I have taken out a queen and written down the probability. So how many replaced,
not
okay,
replaced
replace में बता replace means we are putting it back. Let us discuss. Replace means I have taken out a card, उसमें लिखे what is the chances of getting a queen, how many queens are there. Total 4 queens in a pack of 52, correct? So this is the first time we have taken out a card, and if it is a queen we have written down the probability. Again we put it back, आपके पास फिर से 52 cards आ गए, and again we are calculating the probability of getting a queen. So probability is not changed, but it is again 4 by 52. So this is what we are getting as an answer. In the first case, when the card is replaced. Correct? हमने एक card निकाला, we have calculated the probability and we are putting it back. But in the case when it is not replaced, then at the first time probability is same 4 by 52. And when I have not replaced, it means now how many are left? We are left with the 51 card. एक हमने निकाला and we are putting it aside. So now 51 are there, and we are assuming that we are getting a queen, correct? So what is the chance? We are having 3 by 51. So this is how we are getting an answer, correct? So these are the answers of first, second and third problem. So these are the solution of the first, second, third. Now let us stop. Let us see if more examples are there. Now the topic is completed, and in the next lecture we will start with the conditional probability. So if we discuss what we have learned, we have started with the basics of probability, and we have learned about the addition and multiplication theorem. Addition theorem is to be used when we are looking for something happening as either this or might be both can happen. If we are talking about the multiplication theorem, then we are saying two events are independent of one another, and what is the probability that both can happen together. Correct? So this is what we have learned today, and in the next class we will start with a more elaborate topic, conditional probability. For that you must need the use of the multiplication theorem that is to be used there. Correct? And after this class, if you have any doubt regarding the thing, you can ask me on LPO Live and I will try to answer them. Correct?